Your body refuses to heal, not because you're broken, but because you're trying to solve a subconscious identity problem with conscious effort. Perhaps you spent thousands of dollars on treatments and you've seen 10 plus practitioners and you tried all the protocols that might have worked for a few weeks, then mysteriously stopped. And every time you start to feel good, you crash. That's not bad luck. That's your identity thermostat pulling you back to your set point. And here's what's happening. Your subconscious has you set to sick at 72 degrees. When healing pushes you to healthy at 80 degrees, your brain panics and crashes you back down, back to familiar, back to safe, back to sick. Hi, I'm Victoria. I spent over $500,000 and 7 to 8 years stuck in this exact loop until I discovered the one tool that can reprogram your identity thermostat at the subconscious level, clinical hypnosis. So in the next 10 minutes, I'll show you the 3 subconscious programs keeping you stuck, why every protocol works then stops, and then how to reset your identity thermostat for good. After years of going to treatment for Lyme disease, mold illness, CIRS, and doing mental health therapy, it wasn't until I went to a meditation retreat and learned how the subconscious mind can actually be sabotaging you. So I want you to think about this question. What would happen if you actually healed? Because when I was asked that, I froze and I started crying. Not because I was sad, but because I suddenly saw that a part of me didn't want to heal. Not consciously, but deep down in the part of my brain I couldn't control, healing felt dangerous. So I'm going to go over programs that might be running in your subconscious mind right now. Question number 1, what does being sick give you permission to do? So when I sat with this, I wrote down, I can say no without guilt. I can rest without shame. I can have boundaries without explaining. I can receive help without feeling weak. I can avoid expectations. I can protect my energy. So with this, your subconscious has learned that sickness equals safety. And if you heal, you lose your permission slip. You'll have to perform again. You'll have to be strong again. And your subconscious is keeping you sick to keep you safe. And here's what was happening in my brain. Every time a healing protocol started to work, my amygdala, the threat detection center of the brain, noticed and said, warning, we're deviating from the familiar pattern that keeps us safe. And it triggered a stress response. Cortisol spiked, symptoms returned. I had flare-ups. And this happened subconsciously. I had zero conscious control. So program number 1 is sickness equals safety. Question number 2, when people ask who you are, what do you say? And I realized I introduced myself by my illness, that I have Lyme disease, that I'm chronically ill. And at parties, at family dinners, in dating profiles, one of my first identifier was the sick person. And after 7 years, sick was who I was. So your brain will fight to prove your identity right every single time. Pro number 2, if I heal, I lose my identity. Okay, so fast forward to 2023. I've been feeling good for 2 weeks straight. 2 weeks might not sound much to you, but for someone who was sick for 7 to 8 years, that was a miracle. I woke up with energy that morning, actual energy, and sun was streaming through my windows, birds chirping, and you know what I did? I went to the gym, a full hour workout with weights, cardio, the whole thing. I came home, I cleaned my entire apartment, the bathroom, the kitchen, the bedroom, I cooked a meal, I called 2 friends I hadn't talked to in months, and I made plans for the weekend, and I was alive again. I was proving to myself that, see, I'm healed, I'm normal, I can do this. And the next morning, I couldn't get out of bed. Full relapse, every symptom back. Joint pain, brain fog, fatigue that's so heavy that it felt like gravity was pulling me through the mattress. Worse than ever before. And I remember lying there, staring at the ceiling, thinking, of course, I knew it was too good to be true. I knew I'd crash. I'm never gonna get better. And here's why I didn't understand then, and this is key to everything. I didn't just crash because I overdid it physically, but I also crashed because I overdid it in my identity. So let me show you what was happening. My identity thermostat was set to sick at 72 degrees. That was my set point. That's who I've been for 8 years. And when I had those 2 good weeks, my body temperature rose to healthy at 80 degrees. And my subconscious panicked. It thought, wait, we're not supposed to be here. This isn't who we are. This is dangerous. And here's the biological sequence. 1, when the body reaches the thermostat of the healthier state. 2, the hippocampus notices pattern change. And 3, alerts the amygdala, warning there's a identity deviation. And then 4, the amygdala triggers a stress response, which causes the cortisol to spike, the sympathetic nervous system to activate, the immune system shift to defense, and then all the symptoms return and flare up. So my subconscious cranked up my nervous system, my sympathetic nervous system, so that it can go back to familiarity, back to safety, back to sick. So the crash wasn't my body failing me. It was also my subconscious protecting me from the identity I hadn't upgraded yet. And that's the moment I realized you can't push past your identity with willpower. You can't force your way through with protocols. You have to change the thermostat setting. And the only tool that can access the control panel, clinical hypnosis. So if you're someone who has spent thousands of dollars on protocols that only works for a few weeks and then stopped, or someone who wakes up at 2 a.m. with their mind racing about your health, and someone who feels like your body is fighting you instead of helping you, and you've been told that your labs look fine when you feel like you're dying, and you're crashing every time you try to push yourself, and you're wondering if you're subconsciously sabotaging yourself. You're not. Your subconscious is just protecting you with outdated rules. So here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you a free clinical hypnosis sleep meditation that's going to calm your overactive nervous system. And here's everything that's inside it. It's a 25-minute clinical hypnosis sleep track that has theta state subconscious reprogramming and vagus nerve activation. Basically, it's going to shift your nervous system to the parasympathetic state where healing and repair happens. And your investment, $0. So download it right now. And tonight, within 15 minutes of pressing play, you'll feel your shoulders drop, your jaws unclench, and your nervous system exhale for the first time. So your healing isn't happening because you haven't tried hard enough. It's not happening because you've been working at the wrong level. So tonight, that changes. Download the meditation tonight. The link is in below. And if you want to learn the 5 quick, easy, and free techniques that regulate your nervous system immediately, check out my next video. I'll see you there.